Hello and welcome to Campr. Today is our last full day in the Simpson. It's been an amazing journey. The sense of space and isolation has definitely added to the sense of adventure. We have had to closely monitor our consumption of both water and diesel, and while we've used more than we had anticipated, we can safely say that we've got enough fuel to get through to Birdsville, although it might need to be shared from vehicle to vehicle.
Guys, a little camper hack might come in handy one day. It's a little door pocket organiser, I guess, but you know, head torch, multi-tool of some description, torch, you've got your BP51 adjusting spanner, screwdriver, just the basics that you seem to use throughout the trip. It's just amazing how good it is and how convenient it is when you know exactly where it is. You're always thinking, where do I get a set of cutters to cut the cable tie to add something to the roof rack, or you want to tie something on, it's broken or it's come undone, you'll need a cable tie. And just to show you that one, we've got a cable tie organiser, hangs off the back of the headrest. You can pluck a tie out of there. If you've got a wiring loom that's come loose or something's happened, you can put a little one on. Works really well. There is a pocket there for the screwdriver and the cut-off ones go in the bottom. So just a handy little device if you get caught out.
After breakfast and camp are packed up, we're ready to continue our journey down the Hay River Road.
So we're almost at the end of the line, about to make a decision on whether or not we run into Poeppel Corner, which is an iconic part of the state obviously, or whether we make our run to Birdsville. There are some big dunes and we are low on gas. In fact, some of us will be on fumes as we arrive in Birdsville. We'll see how we go. Big decision being made right now.
36, is it?
Well,
round
18
in, out in.
Yeah,
I said 40 in and out. Yeah.
I think from Poeppel Corner to Birdsville, it's 166k.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying though is, like, at the end of the day, if you're really wanting to be conservative, do we poke around this one or do we try and get straight down there? I have no problem going down to Poeppel's. It might be a bit touch and go, but I don't care. I'm definitely going to have a play on the dune. Just have to.
Yeah.
Peer group pressure will suck me in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no idea what we'll all be doing. Righto, let's do it.
Yeah.
The run to Poeppel's is along the edge of some spectacular salt pans that can really only be appreciated from the air. After all those sand dunes, it's great to do some flat running at speed again. After 3 days and 20 clicks an hour, 60 seems like 100, and we're there before we know it. And the first of our tribe to hit the Big E is Mark Leadfoot Lacey, running on empty and looking for fuel.
Matey, just 20 litres, thanks.
That's about all we got left in the tank, actually.
Can I get you to do the screen as well?
Yeah, I'll do your tyres and I'll check your
$4 a litre.
How much a litre?
65 bucks a litre out here.
Good job. It's worth bringing that can.
It'll be $3,000 a litre if I run out.
Well, mate, we were driving along and we thought, just coming into Poeppel Corner, and we figured that we'd pull up at this last bowser before we went in for the actual scenery.
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
Good on you, mate.
Obviously, off-roading, you use more fuel, especially with the soft sand dunes. We did some fuel calculations and, yeah, I mean, we didn't know what the terrain was going to be like, so, you know, we just estimated what we were going to use. And I mean, this vehicle, it's got a long-range tank in it, but it doesn't hold as much fuel as the big trucks.
It's good R&D anyway, isn't it? It's really good for you guys to do something like this and put things to their absolute limit. Figure out what you can tell your customers.
Yeah, definitely.
Augustus Poeppel reached the corner, the meeting place of the states of Queensland and the Northern Territory and South Australia, in 1880.
I guess it's something about the adventurer in us Aussies that wants us to stand at the tip of Cape York or stand on a state border and get a photo taken. It's one of 3 corners on the Queensland state border. The other 2 are Haddon's Corner and Cameron's Corner, but here we are at Poeppel's.
Queensland 11:30, Northern Territory 11, South Australia 11.
After lots of photos of the post, and with the crew, the post at the corner, it was time to make our way onto a rutted salt pan for a few shots of our vehicles that had brought us all this way on such a remarkable journey. And Michael, like a conductor in front of an orchestra, was putting the vehicles exactly where he needed them for what was going to be a cracking photo. Sadly, it was starting to feel like we're near the end, and I was having so much fun I could have turned around there and then and headed straight back into the desert.
We've been out here for days, so it's been awesome. So beautiful. So beautiful, yeah. All right, well, enjoy. See you later, eh?
Sorry, but you don't need to sleep, you're driving, eh?
Woo!
That, however, was not the end of the dunes for us, as now we've joined the QAA line for the run into Big Red and onto Birdsville.
There's absolutely no cure. Maybe keep her out there, maybe not something the doctor fix it either.
Woo! We did it, buddy.
Sorry, I'll just have to deal with it
We
for now.
did it! The undies off tree. Civilization this way.
We're back on schedule with enough fuel and water to get into town, but I think the rest of the crew are feeling the same way as me. Technically, we aren't supposed to meet the rest of the team until tomorrow, so rather than head on into Birdsville, we decide that one last night of camping out in the Simpson is a better option for us. Michael searched out 2 models for a nighttime shoot over dinner that would have been the envy of any fine dining restaurant. Karen and Scott are now available for weddings, parties, anything. And speaking of parties, our last night in the desert was definitely that. Tomorrow, we hook up with our ARB colleagues in Birdsville who are readying for the ARB conference. And it's sunset drinks at Big Red as we say goodbye to the Simpson Desert. If you like the look of what you've seen and are keen for some advice on this trip or how to kit out your 4B, head into your local ARB store.